Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and I am a mom to 4 kids. We are a family of 6 and today I am just bringing you along to watch me cook the meals that I made for my family this week. This what's for dinner goes along with the pantry shopping that I did last week, so I will link that video up in the cards. But this first meal is the creamy pesto pasta with chicken on top. So first I went ahead and seasoned my chicken with the Szechuan seasoning, and I fried that up in my cast iron pan with some melted butter. So while the chicken was frying, I went ahead and got my pasta water up to a boil and boiled that pasta. So I just let the chicken get brown on both sides, making sure that it was cooked all the way through. And then I got started on the sauce next. For the sauce, I used the same cast iron pan that I used to fry the chicken up. That way I could get all the seasoning that fell off the chicken into the sauce. So I started by melting some butter, cooking my garlic in it, and then I added in a block of cream cheese and some heavy whipping cream. And I melted that cream cheese down into the whipping cream, and then I will add the pesto. As always, while I was cooking the sauce, I was continuously tasting it, making sure that the flavor is where I wanted it to be. So once I got that where I wanted it, I went ahead and added the pasta. And as you can see, I definitely should have used a bigger pan to mix everything together in, but it all worked out in the end. This meal was really good. The kids seemed to like it, and it all got eaten. Okay, so this is what dinner ended up looking like. This is dinner for 6 people, including 2 adults, 3 teenagers, and 1 very picky kindergartner. But as you can see, I'm able to feed my family of 6 with 2 chicken breasts and 1 pound of pasta. So this is a small costing meal, very cost effective, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but the next meal on the lineup was the creamy salsa chicken. So I just started out by putting 2 large chicken breasts in what I'm using as the crock pot, 1 block of cream cheese, and about half a container of salsa. The chicken breasts were frozen, so I just cooked them on, well, you can, in a regular crock pot, you could cook them on low all day long, and then that would all cook. Once I was ready to assemble my casserole later on in the evening, I shredded that chicken and stirred everything up together really well. And then I just assembled this like a regular enchilada casserole. So I put some sauce down in the bottom of the pan, some tortillas, some more of the shredded chicken, and then I used a pint of home canned beans and a can of corn, some cheese, and then another layer of the shredded chicken, and then repeated that again with the tortillas. So I just basically layered this up like an enchilada casserole, like I said. So if you watched the pantry shopping video, I did say that I did not have enough tortillas to serve this as tacos, which was my original intention, but this was a great compromise. Everybody seemed to really like this dish, and I will definitely be making it again in the future. So I just want to point out right now, since we are all concerned about inflation and our budgets, just how much food you can get out of 2 chicken breasts. So each of this meal and the last meal was made out of 2 chicken breasts and it fed a family of 6. So if you are conscious about how you are serving your food, you will be able to get more mileage out of it. If you shred up your meat, you're definitely going to be able to feed more than if you were to serve like a whole chicken breast to someone. It's just going to stretch further.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from.
The next meal was the Cajun butter garlic steak bites. These were only okay. I will have the recipe linked down below in the description box for you because I threw away the recipe after we ate this because I will not be making it again. It just wasn't our favorite. But again, it did help stretch 2 steaks to feed 6 people. So I started by cutting the meat off the bones for the steak, and I just cubed that up into bite-sized pieces. And I did that for both steaks.
Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
And of course, I'm saving those bones and trimmings to make bone broth out of to can up for my pantry.
Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Hey, darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey, darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note.
After I had the steak all cut up to the size of pieces that I wanted, I went ahead and mixed up the seasoning. You could really use any seasoning for this. This recipe happened to have you making your own Cajun seasoning. If I do make this recipe again, I will just use the seasoning that I already have made for Cajun seasoning in my spice cabinet. But once you get all the spices combined, you're going to go ahead and mix them up and then make sure to cover all of your steak bites in the seasoning.
Hey, darling, I love it when it's me and you on the road with a couple of tunes in a car for two. Hey, darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time.
Next, I put some oil in a pan and I put one steak bite in until the oil came up to temperature. That's the easiest way for me to tell when oil is ready to cook in. And then I went ahead and browned the steak bites on all sides and then removed them from the pan so that I could start on the garlic sauce.
Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count.
To start the sauce off, I went ahead and put about a half a stick of butter into my cast iron pan that fried the steak, and I went ahead and used that to scrape up the bits off the bottom of the pan. And then next, I went ahead and added in my lots of garlic and got that cooking until it was fragrant and not burnt.
May you always find your way to higher ground. May you always keep your
Next, you combine your steak and butter sauce and toss to coat, and then that portion of the meal was finished. I served this alongside some cauliflower rice, which my family surprisingly liked, but that was just out of the frozen section at the store. So I just cooked that up with some butter, salt, and sugar, and this is what our dinner ended up looking like. It was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't the worst. It was only okay. Next, I went ahead and made some lasagna. So I'm just starting by dicing up some celery, carrots, and an onion to kind of beef up the store-bought red sauce that I had.
order in a cup of love. Feel it rising up and above. You will always keep my heart and soul strong. Plant your seeds and watch them grow. The light will always know where to go. You will always keep my heart and soul strong.
And of course, I put some garlic in there too because I just can't help myself. So the next step was to just put some vegetable oil into my heavy bottom pan and let the celery, carrots, onion, and garlic sweat together until they were all nicely softened. Next, I went ahead and drained my TVP out of its soaking liquid and got my ground beef in the pan so that that could start browning with all the vegetables as well as my TVP. That way, the TVP will start soaking up all the flavors from the ground beef and vegetables. Once the meat was browned, I went ahead and added in my 2 cans of store bought pasta sauce. This was just the Hunt's, I think it used to be like 98 cents on the bottom shelf at the store. But I just made sure that my meat was cooked all the way through, added the sauce cans, and then brought that up to a simmer. And of course, season it up to your liking. Next, I got started on my bechamel sauce that I used instead of the cream, like the cheesy, creamy mixture with ricotta. So I started by melting about a half a stick of butter. I added in some flour and half and half until it came to the consistency that I wanted, and then added some salt and pepper. And then I started assembling my lasagna. So I started by laying some sauce down in the bottom of my casserole. I put down 3 oven-ready lasagna noodles, more sauce, and then the bechamel cream sauce mixture. I think this is how original, like traditional lasagna is made, not with the ricotta cheese. I could be totally wrong, but this was really good. Everybody seemed to like it. And then I just kept repeating the layers over and over until I ran out of noodles.
Nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me. No, nothing can break me. Stars, I wanna drive a faster car.
And of course, I put a layer of mozzarella cheese on top. So this meal was really good. Everybody liked it. I think I do prefer the lasagna with the cheese, creamy cheese in the middle, but that's just my preference. This is a great alternative if you don't have that type of stuff on hand. But this was a heavy casserole. I bet it was probably like 5 to 7 pounds. And then this is what it came out looking like. It was crispy on the top. I love the crispy bits. And then I served it alongside some homemade bread with some cheese melted on top and garlic butter. The next day, I made garlic brown sugar pork chops in the slow cooker. So I just started out by seasoning my pork chops with salt and pepper on both sides and then browning them on each side in my cast iron pan. And then between each layer of pork chops, I put a coating of the brown sugar and garlic mixture. I will have this recipe with the exact measurements linked down below in the description box. But again, this is one of the ones that I probably won't make again. It just wasn't great. And then I served it alongside some cheesy broccoli. So if you guys like this type of video, please don't forget to hit the like button so that I know to continue making these videos. And please subscribe if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing everyone in the next video. Thanks. Bye.